What's going on there, folks? Good evening. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Thursday night, October 12th, 2023, 7:55 p.m. here, California time. And we do have a annular eclipse that we're looking forward to for some of us beginning Saturday. Goodness, looks like things are going to be starting to kick up here very quickly. I'm a big fan of eclipses. This is the annular eclipse, basically not a total blackout of the sun, but basically a ring of fire type eclipse. A lot of people prefer that over the complete blackout because it gives a beautiful image here when it is centered perfectly in the center of the sun. That's the moon, of course, providing that eclipse. And taking a look here at the map, this is the path of the annular solar eclipse. Now, certain areas here around Elko, Winnemucca, Eugene, and other regions here throughout the country. Let's see. It looks like Corpus Christi as well. San Antonio, Midland, Roswell, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Lot of high populated regions here getting in on the activity. Now, I went ahead. That's going to be the total. Well, as far as the ring of fire goes. Outside of that line, you're looking at potentially, let's go here to 85% coverage around Reno or so. Maybe down here around Chico area, we're looking at in between 80 and 85%, so probably about 82% of the sun being blocked out. Here is the views of what it's going to look like. Of course, if you're within this path of annular solar eclipse here, of complete the sun being obscured, then you got a perfect ring of fire type deal going for you. Hopefully, we'll look at the clouds here in a little bit, see what the weather patterns are going to be. Outside of that, you can see a little partial eclipse all the way up into Maine area and up into portions of Quebec up there. So everyone's going to get in on a little bit of the eclipse, but not quite as much as if you're within this path of the that ring of fire. I'm outside here in Northern California. We're going to have about 82%. Going to look something like this, a little bit more, but it's not going to quite have that perfect ring of fire like you would see here with this circle. That's going to look pretty neat. So for right now, let's see what we got here. Big cities in the path of this annular eclipse. Now, this is a weather model here potentially showing, viewability. If you're going to have clear skies or not, right? Because I don't think it's going to look pretty if you got cloud cover. You're not going to really be able to see that ring of fire. So unfortunately, up here into Oregon, right around the Salem area, Eugene's going to be like right in the path of totality there. Well, you're looking at some overcast conditions here, potentially for this area. Now, this is based off of past climate records. I do want to go over here and double check. Let me bring up another window here. I want to check the windy model. This is another good forecast model that shows potential clouds coming in. We do have a storm system out here off onto the west coast. I don't want that. I want this right here. That's going to bring in some clouds and potential rain out here come Saturday morning when this is going to take place. Now, this is going to be about 9 o'clock or so in the a.m. When this kicks up. The peak timing here, at least for the Eugene area, is going to be about 9:18 a.m. Saturday morning. Max obscuration, right? With it being blocked out there. 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the totality of the ring of fire. So it's going to start probably a little bit before that, about an hour or so, I believe, prior to the max time there. And of course, you'll probably have an hour or so afterwards. And let's see what we got here for the weekend coming up. Now, this is local time, my time. Unfortunately, look at these clouds coming in here to the west coast. For California, I'm going to be up, but I just don't know if it's going to be worth viewing this or not, because it looks like there's going to be some cloud cover. I had originally planned to go out here to Winnemucca, Nevada, and view and live stream the Ring of Fire eclipse. But looking at these cloud cover potential coverage here for Saturday, I have to put my plans on hold. So I'm going to see what I can get here from Northern California. Now, there is a little bit of clarity out here in between Chico and Willows. I don't know. This is just one weather model around 9 a.m. Cloud cover could definitely obscure a large area that is in that path of totality. And that includes around Eugene or so. They're showing, at least for the historical perspective, is overcast for this area, and it looks like that's going to be true. Now, down here in Chico, or just outside of Chico, California, these guys are showing clear. Now, this is based on, the past climate type events. A lot of times we do have some clear skies throughout October, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that here Saturday at 9 a.m. when this is supposed to really supposed to kick up. Let me bring back here. Now, other areas, if you want to look here, well, a lot of Utah is going to be open, it looks like. Utah, New Mexico, all those areas look like they will be in the clear for the most part, far as viewing the solar eclipse. And even down into Texas. But us here in the West Coast, I think we are going to be in a little bit of trouble as far as viewing that eclipse. So in Oregon, it begins at 9:13 a.m. And ends at 12:03. Well, in Texas, it ends at 12:03 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So prior to that, you're probably looking at about 10 o'clock a.m. time for the Central Time folks. And let me see what this play button does here. It kind of shows you the path of the sun, but that's really slow. Let's go 10 times here. So this is going to be up around the Oregon area, 9 o'clock in the morning. And you can see the time frame over here for Nevada area. It looks like right around 9:30 or so. Totality should be taking place there around Winnemucca, pending you have clear skies. And then as it heads further into, let's be this 60 times. That might be a little bit too much. Into Salt Lake City area, outside Salt Lake City area, and the Utah, we're looking at around 9:30 or so Pacific time. So that's going to be adjusted according to the mountain time or whichever time you're in. Let me speed this up here just a little bit. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Right there. Looks like about 9:30 Pacific time. And I believe these guys are in mountain time, right? If I remember right. So we're looking at 10:30 or so. Central time over here in Texas. That's going to be right around the Midland area or so. Central time. It's going to be about 11:40 or so. 11:44 for the max duration. This is actually a really cool website to check out if you're curious about the path that this is going to take. This is a little interactive type map that you can mess with. I'll leave this up there for you guys on the update video. It's a little site from NASA. But that's it. I mean, that's what we're looking at. Historically, San Antonio area, looks like, again, that's going to be right around the max. Is going to be 11:54 local time there, just before noon for the folks there around San Antonio. Albuquerque, New Mexico, once again, looking at 10:37. That's going to be DST. These guys are going to be clear, though. Looking at the conditions out here, at least for the Texas area, for the most part, it's going to show a little bit of clouds down in South Texas, but it looks like that's going to stay down south. A wide area here of openness that's going to be able to see that that eclipse. So lucky you guys. Unfortunately, I was hopeful, but it doesn't look like, at least for now, we got some thick cloud cover coming in about 7 a.m. or so, and a lot over there in Nevada as well. And just kind of watch this and see what happens. That's just one weather model there from the windy site. Now, I'm not for sure if we can see anything here out on this map. This is going to be the average simulated infrared. This could show cloud cover as well. We're going to go about, this is Z time, so we're going to have to go right about 1900. That's on Friday. Looks like maybe right about there, I believe, would be the time frame. Either way, it looks like there's going to be a lot of clouds coming in here to the west coast, unfortunately, and that's a bummer. But I'll still be out. I was planning on barbecuing a brisket, so I got to get up early in the morning anyway to start that barbecue. So hopefully you guys get a chance to see it. Another cool website, Time and Date. Now, if you enter in your city into this area, it's actually really cool. You can go to eclipses here. This kind of shows you a little site out here as well, far as the duration. That's going to be the totality ring of fire. That's what you guys are going to see if you're within that total path. 82% here in Chico, probably going to look something like that or so if we have clear skies, maybe a little bit more. Either way, definitely a noticeable difference in the the light, so to speak. Let's see, here's another map, kind of shows you the general percentage here. Chico, California, Redding, like I say, it's around 82% or so. Of course, the further north you go, you're looking at more of the area being covered. Let's type in, let's see here, let me go back here. Let's go to Chico, California. It should be in here. Lots of Chicos out there. Chico, where are you? Baja, California, California State. Oh, jeez, right at the top of the list. So yeah, that's what we're looking at around 9:19 a.m. local time here, Pacific time. That's during the max peak there. Of course, it's going to start prior to that, about an hour at 8:05 a.m. 8:05 a.m. local time here. Maximum is going to be at 9:19. That's what it should look like. And it's going to end there at 10:42 completely. So the whole duration, including, the totality, is going to be 2 hours and 37 minutes for the Chico area. Let's go check out Midland once again. Midland, Texas. Right here. Now these guys are going to have a perfect ring of fire. That's a beauty. That's an absolutely beautiful shot if you are lucky enough to see it. Hopefully you guys will be. Again, it starts at 10:18 there. I believe this is going to be all time shown on this page are local time. So 10:18 local time. Maximum there at 11:45. Look at the magnitude, 0.971. That's going to be a nice dimming of the sun for sure. Around Midland, Texas. Going to last for 3 hours and 3 minutes. The totality there, ring of fire, is going to be 4 minutes and 53 seconds of pure awesomeness. You could probably get quite a few shots in there during that. And of course, Albuquerque, New Mexico is going to be roughly about the same. Up in Utah as well. Let's see. There was an area way out here in the desert that I like I say, this map right here shows you the complete path right in this area. Again, outside of that, you're looking at 80% or so. We can bring up a whole bunch of these, and they extend, of course, further away from this line. The further away from this line you are, obviously it's going to be a lot less. You know, but you're still going to see it around Nashville or so, about 50% blocked out. That's going to look pretty cool. So I will be up. I just want to see how dim it's going to be with a blocking out of 82% of the sun. It should be pretty cool out here around the Chico area. Even with cloud cover, it'll definitely be more noticeable. So that'd be kind of eerie, you know, seeing the sun up and then it getting eclipsed. So I will be checking it out here Saturday. Saturday is the day, so mark your calendars for that. Again, a lot of this information here is on the internet, and there's many different maps that you can check out. This is just typical weather patterns that this site is using. But it's you know, each year is not the same. And it looks like California here just happens to be one of the days here where we're looking at cloud cover. All right, let's jump into earthquake activity, see what we have going on here. One earthquake coming in the last hour here at the South Sandwich Trench, northern edge here of the subduction zone, 45 kilometers deep. Well, we did see a handful of earthquakes out here. Most of it over the last 24 hours here, scattered out and about across areas around Papua New Guinea. Down here in New Zealand, they did see a 4.7 earthquake located on the Hikurangi subduction zone, well off the coast. Very shallow earthquake out here. This is definitely some concern. Does have potential to be up there in the large magnitude range, 8.9 or so, and tsunami potential when that thing goes. Kermadec Trench, 4.8. That's from yesterday. A little bit of movement further up north as well. Seen 4.6 near the Santa Cruz Islands area, Solomon, near the Solomon Islands there. A bit of activity stretching out here across the Indonesia Islands area as well. Couple fours. Philippines did see an earthquake. This earthquake coming in earlier this evening, a 5.2, 10 kilometers deep. Not a whole lot further up north here. Izu Trench has remained quiet for the past couple days after an extensive swarm. We did see 5.1 up here into the Kuro-Kamachaka Trench, 48 kilometers deep for that earthquake. Over here around Alaska, looks like just some typical movement out there, not a whole lot of change. And Pacific Northwest, Mount St. Helens, seeing a little bit of activity up at the summit regions again. This has just been an ongoing activity. No major increasing activity, but still interesting movement nonetheless. A little bit of earthquake activity outside of Reno, Nevada. A couple of smaller quakes here in the last hour or so. Getting a little bit of movement here near the Diablo Range. This is off of the plate boundary. Just looks like a 3.2 and a couple other smaller quakes there in that area. Southern California, no major swarm going on. No major unusual activity. Just a handful of smaller quakes there, it looks like. It looks like the San Jacinto fault zone there, fairly active with microquakes around this area. But aside from that, let's check out Yellowstone here. Stand by. A little dry in the air today. Got the north wind kicking up out here, and it's just drying everything up, including my voice. Sawtooth Fault System out here near Stanley, Idaho. Seeing a couple earthquakes coming in today. Fairly active out there on that fault system. Let's see here. Yellowstone National Park. Now, they still haven't fixed their seismograph stations. It looks like maybe on Monday, according to one of the geologists there. They're doing some networking fixing up there at the, I guess, the main areas there that puts out the data. So can't really check that. Rest of the country here, minimal movement for the most part. Not a whole lot going on throughout the eastern portion of the country. And a little spotty activity here across Puerto Rico for now. South America seeing a handful of earthquakes. Kilauea volcano, we're lacking earthquake activity. Let's go ahead and check out the latest information here from the HVO. Kilauea daily update put out today. It's not erupting. Still the same message. Just seeing a little heightened earthquake activity. No eruption is imminent, but an eruption in the region of the crater area south to the December 1974 vents could emerge with little notice. Inflation at the summit of Kilauea remains high and has nearly returned to the level seen just before the last eruption. No eruption is imminent, but it could happen with little notice. So they're cautious with their words here. Let's go ahead and check out the tilt meters and see what's going on for ourselves. Get a little bit of information here. Kilauea volcano, zoom in here real quick. Not that far. There we go. Let's see if these tilt meters are working. Hopefully they are. Yes, they are. Look at this. There was a drop in the inflation. That's obviously a really huge drop, unless they made an adjustment. I don't think they did. Wait a minute here. I think they had mentioned that they did do a little bit of... let me double check this here real quick. I thought in one of these they had mentioned that they did a little bit of... there's a continued inflation. I thought they did a little bit of measurement adjustment, but I guess not. Either way, that's quite the drop and then quite the rebound here. So we are peaking back out here in the last day or so of inflation. And I wanted to check the past week or so. Yeah, it's still kind of going up there. So continue to watch that. Earthquake activity has kind of dropped off, though, as you can see on the USGS map. Let me go back over here. You can see only a handful of smaller quakes out there. And really not that much from today. We only seen one earthquake today. It's a little odd, don't you think? That's really odd. Let me check out these seismograph stations and see here if that is indeed the case. It looks like it. There's some very small other earthquake activity here over the last 12 hours. It doesn't look like they're reporting all of them, though. These are some small quakes, but they should still be accounted for, right? All right. Well, let's move on here. Space weather activity. The sun is still there. Not going anywhere for quite a while. Not a whole lot of sunspot, or well, not a whole lot of flaring activity, I should say. There's numerous sunspots out here facing the Earth. But again, these are just hanging around. Not looking all that complex. Complexity amongst all of them are fairly quiet for the most part. This region down here, maybe if I were to pick an area, I might see some flaring. But for the most part, things look very calm there across those sunspot regions. 95% chance for a C flare. M flare at 25% chance. And X flare around 5% chance here. No major roars in the forecast. Things are very calm across the KP index for now. All right, folks. So again, I hope that we do have clear skies out here in terms of the weekend coming in. But this is, this is around Saturday morning or so. We got some clouds and rain coming in. I'll take the rain, but I wanted to see the eclipse. Long range models here. Looks like a colder weather pattern setting up there for middle portion of the country as we head in towards the end of October. You guys see that? Let me pull up the symbol right here. High pressure in the orange, low pressure, colder temperatures in the blue. This is on, this is the, let's go this weekend here, 13th. Put this into effect. High pressure building out in the west. Unfortunately, those are looks like some hot temperatures coming up for us. But a good portion of the eastern areas of the country look pretty cool. Look at that. I don't like that pattern. I don't like the ridging over here across the west coast. It's not good. Hoping that changes. I'm sure it will. It's early in the year as far as our rainy season goes. Most of the time out here in California, our rainy season starts in November or so, and that's coming up soon. So we need to get rid of that high pressure. All right, folks. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow And no doubt I'll still be up early Saturday morning live streaming the event, even if it's just kind of cloudy. I still will be live streaming because I said I would, and that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go out here to Winnemucca for that. That is about 6.5 hours from me here, and I don't think it's feasible to go out there if it's just going to be cloudy. Even if it's cloudy here in Northern California, at least I can go out here in the backyard and see what it looks like with the dimming of the sun and maybe fire up a barbecue. But I don't see myself driving out there 6.5 hours if it's going to be cloudy, even out here around the Winnemucca area. So we'll see how it goes. We'll check back on the cloud cover potential tomorrow during an update. All right, folks, have a good one. Stay safe out there. All is quiet out there, quiet as a mouse out there in the seismograph stations for now. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow sometime. Have a good night.